To me, outside of Dame, and of course you got to go J Kidd and GP and D Shaw. Then it was CG.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Rec Center podcast. My name is Kenny Edwards. I'm joined with my co-host Lorenzo Lolo Parham. Man, how you been doing lately?
I've been doing Ken good, Ken, man. I'm really excited, man, about the way the podcast has been taking off and all of these guys getting on and telling their story, man. Everybody we brought on to me is considered a legend for what they did during their era, man. And our next guest, he's the same way, man. You know, a person's a legend, Ken, when you don't know them, but they name perceives them, right? So this guy you bringing on, man, I heard the name all the time. I just kept hearing the name. Every newspaper article, every Oakland Tribune, East Bay Times, this guy was always in it. So I can't wait to hear his story, man. Without further ado, let's welcome your guy, Marquin Chandler, out of Newark Memorial
What's
High School.
what's
King, what's
going
up,
on,
man?
fellas? How y'all doing, man?
Man, we
Man,
good,
we
bro.
doing
We
good, man.
good.
Happy to have you and hear your story, bro. You got to break it down for me, man. I got a lot of questions that I need answers to, right? So
Man, you
my
got my
fam
full attention, man.
my family grew
For
up in
sure.
Newark,
First off, I want
right?
to, thank y'all for having me on, man, and say, congratulations to what y'all doing, cause I'm following y'all for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? Y'all putting in some work, tapping into the people, man. So I salute you guys, man. Straight up.
Appreciate that.
Man, most definitely,
Yeah.
most definitely. Hey, so Marquin, we gonna tap into a lot of stuff, man. We gonna definitely have to talk about the list, right? Because when we did the
Let's
list,
go.
Ken had Marquin Chandler name on the list, and I couldn't dispute it, even though I never saw you play during those times. I couldn't dispute it because your name was always in the paper. So it's like, hey, I can't dispute that, Ken. But let's take it back to the beginning, man. Um, are you from Newark? Are you from Oakland? Well, how you get out to Newark Memorial
Nah,
High
man.
School? Break it
Oakland
down
my
for us,
whole
man. What
life, man.
Oakland his whole life, man. What
I
rec
was
center
born
you
in Berkeley. As soon as I left the hospital, they drove me to the east, man.
the East Oakland, man. So
I was born there, raised in Oakland my whole life, man. I'll tell y'all the
what
story about how I got to Newark when the questions start
what
coming and everything. But
what,
I'm from
what rec center
35th
you
though.
35th Avenue, my guys, man. You know I got a
Yes,
love for the
sir.
30s, man. I'm
Yes,
I'm
sir.
from the 20s, but I grew up on 39th, man. Bret Hart Middle, Bret Hart Junior High, all of that stuff, man. So
That's
being
where I
from the
went to.
30s, I'm assuming
Uh-huh.
you came through Allendale Rec Center,
Allendale.
like
Yeah.
Allendale,
I
man.
was at Allendale, but I bounced around. No, I was at Allendale. I was at every rec center, pretty much. Like I lived in the Dubs too. I lived on East 27th. I lived over there. I lived off High Street, so I was everywhere. Like I was at everyone. But if I had to say a rec center, I probably had to say Allendale for sure.
Allendale's a rec center that's not too known for they ball players, right? So when you was
Mm-mm.
going to all these other different rec centers, man, what was it like? Was it trash talk? Like what was what trash talking like when you had to go play? I remember ONBL, right? That's when the
Mm-hmm.
ONBL was we playing against other rec centers and it's nothing but
Mm-hmm.
trash talk, man. So how was it
Mm-hmm.
with Allendale going to play against these other rec centers?
See, I didn't play for them like a rec. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of how I did it. So just to give y'all a little background, right? My mom and dad, they both from Oakland. They old school Maxwell Park. That's where they from. So they thing was they sent me to hella different schools all over Oakland. I was all over Oakland, bro. Like I never had like one established place where I could just say I really put it down there. I was everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like I had an uncle, I had an uncle who had a hair shop on Shattuck. So most of my summers I was in Bush Ride. So I was in Bush Ride in the north. That's how, I knew everybody from the north, Fab and all them coming up. Pops was big at Mosswood Park, so I was at Mosswood Park a lot. I was at East Lake Y a lot. Like I was downtown at the the gym downtown, the Chinese gym. I can't remember where it's at in Chinatown, but I was over there. I was everywhere. So I just played, bruh. I was just a kid from Oakland that just played on every side of Oakland. I just played
So
wherever
so
we
how
could,
so
bro.
how did you end up at Newark Memorial? Was you there for your whole 4 years?
Nah, so I went to Montero two in middle school for 2 years, but I just couldn't vibe with it. So I left Montero and went to Bret Hart, which I was 3 blocks away from Bret Hart my whole life pretty much. Most of my whole
Right.
life was in the 30s. Went to Bret Hart, but when I went to Bret Hart, I played for Fremont while I was
Okay, the
still
ninth
going to
grade
Bret
thing.
Hart.
I didn't know that.
The
Yeah,
ninth grade thing. Yeah, ninth
yeah, I
grade
played
thing.
for
Okay.
Fremont. That's why I said, bro, I played all know everybody. I played against everybody. So I played so for Bret Hart, I played for Fremont. Then I went to Skyline. I was at Skyline for a year. Forget the name, but I remember tryouts came for Skyline, and I thought I balled. I thought I should have made bar. You know what I'm saying? But it was something about the coach. He didn't really vibe with me. I was wild then too though. So he put me on JV. You school Jay Van Eck.
Jay Van
He put us on, and Matt Taylor, he put us all on JV. We thought we should have made it, right? So I took everything personal. So I'm like, okay, all right. Then I stayed on JV. He tried to move me up like 4 times. I told him no every time. I just stayed on JV and served. And we won the championship at JV and everything. Like we had a raw little team. Like I think Matt and Jay moved up, but I stayed. I stayed down because I had all my partners on JV too. So
Was
like,
Stan
man,
Cornelius
I'm
on
staying right
JV with
here.
you?
You feel me? So I say all that to say when we won the JV championship and we went to the playoffs, you know, but so we played, got smacked. And I remember after the game at Tech, I was getting on the bus, and he looked at me. He's like, "Yeah, 11th grade, you got to play VAR, so you can't run from me now." And I was like, and I looked down. I'm like, "All right." And so we got on the bus. I ain't say nothing. And then after that, I was like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. So it was crazy how I got to Newark too. So you know, I'ma just let y'all know, Jamal Hill, my cousin. So Ken knew that, but I'm letting you know, Lo. So what people don't know is me and Jamal was gonna use the same address to get to El Cerrito. I was really supposed to be at El Cerrito instead of Newark.
Mm.
People didn't know that.
breaking
Yeah,
breaking
I'm gonna
news.
tell y'all stories, bro. I got stories. So I was supposed to be at EC. So we had an address. So Mall used the address first, right? So they was like wait a little bit. They said like wait like a week or two and then apply and use the same address because they know y'all family. So they not gonna trip. So I waited and then I applied. But what I didn't know is I missed the transfer cutoff by like 2 days. So then I got
Mm.
denied to go to EC. So when I got denied, I was like, damn, what I'm gonna do? But I had an auntie, my auntie Beth, that was like my hoop auntie. Um, she lived in Newark. So she was like, come out here. So I went out there, I went in the summer and I had played some summer games with Newark, and I started vibing with Coach Ashmore. I'm like, man, I'm just about to come here. And then that's how I got to Newark, bro.
I was happy too, cause low. So around this time, we playing summer league up at Merritt. So I'm running with Ohio. Keen's still running with Skyline, and I'm looking. Kev Cockerham still at Skyline. He running with him.
Yeah, yeah,
Tremaine, Stan Cornelius,
yeah,
Matt Taylor, Jay Van Eck. I'm like, ooh, I don't know if we ready for this smoke. And then
yeah.
when King left, I was like, oh God, we got a chance. We got a chance. So I was
Hey,
happy when he left. Shit, get the hell up out of here.
Hey, but do you? Hey, hold on, King. You said a whole
What's
bunch.
up?
Let me back up, man,
Yeah, go.
because
What's up?
I'm over here thinking about these teams. I'm thinking, what happens if King stays at Fremont? Right? That's
Mm.
them killer
That
teams
would have
over
been
there,
bad,
man.
bro. That would have been
Them killer
bad.
teams. If King stays at Fremont, or what happens if he gets into El Cerrito, man?
They
You
might
know,
have would have
Jamal,
won
that's
We
my
wouldn't have
state.
dog,
lost.
man.
They wouldn't have lost that state
That's
championship.
what I'm thinking.
I tell you that.
That's what I'm.
They
But
How
I'm
wouldn't have
many
thinking,
lost to
years
hey,
Deion
though?
hey, but
How
Stevenson.
many
just,
years?
but, just,
Huh?
but just to add debate, if King goes to Fremont, because if King go to El Cerrito, we already know what the starting five is, right? But if King go to Fremont, who somebody got to go to the bench. King ain't coming off the bench. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So
But what year we
Marquise,
talking though, Ken? We talking
99.
about
So
99 would
99?
be his
so
junior
I was
year.
there. I was at Free. I was in Fremont. That had to be what 90,
97.
96,
Yeah.
96, 97.
Yeah. That's
Yep,
our freshman
96,
year.
97.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, cause I was on JV, and I was on JV with Maine. I think Lance was on JV. I think LG was still on JV. Um, JV was raw.
Yeah, but I'm saying
Like,
fast
I'm
forward to
coming
your
from
junior
junior high
year.
school. Yeah. So I'm coming from junior high school. So I'm going up against all them. I'm like, oh, all these dudes tough. But that's how I played. Like, Pops didn't never really let me play with my age. I always had to play older. So I was used to it. But and I ain't gonna need Cal. I wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? But really went to Fremont. Ooh, I don't know who would have sat down, but somebody would have sat down
All right, look.
fast.
It's Keith, Lance,
Uh-huh.
Jermaine, Larry,
Uh-huh.
and Big Josh. That's the
Uh-huh.
that's the starting five.
Hold on, who's the other
And
big
it's
man
my guy.
outside of
It's my
Josh?
guy.
Nah, Jermaine
It's my
Jermaine was like the
guy, but
four. Like,
it would have probably had to be Maine. I'd have probably who was the
It would
two?
have been man.
I'd say
It
Maine or
would have
Who
been
was the
Keys.
man.
shooting guard?
Or Keys. And let
Nah,
Lance run the point.
nah, nah. Keith was a veteran by that time. Keith was playing in '97. You can't throw Keith to the bench. He played with the big dogs. You
It
kind
might
of
have
got to
been.
move.
It would have had to be. It'd have had to be.
Had to be
Man, they're my
Jermaine.
dogs too. So we won chips together. So regularly stuff. But it would have had to be somebody, especially junior year.
Yeah,
That's when I
99.
think junior year is when I really took that step.
Yeah.
I felt my body change.
Yeah. Because that's what
That's
I was
when
saying in private with Keen. I'm like, because me and Keen played AAU together, eighth grade.
mm,
And I'm like, Keen wasn't that good. Like, he was cool. He wasn't that good. But his junior year, I was like, bro, this is a different person, dog. Like, this is
yeah, I
different.
would I was always solid, but
But not
I
head
had that
above the
I had that
rest.
big I had that big ass growth spurt,
Yeah.
and that's what did it. I went after I left Bret Hart. I went to Skyline. That summer, I went for five. I went for 5'10" to 6'5",
Mm.
and then I wasn't used to being that tall. I was a point guard most of my life.
Mm.
So when I grew, I wasn't I wasn't used to it. Then when
Right.
I grew, I had to guard all the bigs. So then I'm getting bounced around. So I'm like, I had to figure it out. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
So I like that sophomore year when I played JV and I started getting used to it, getting used to my body and stuff. That's when it's like, okay. And then I remember after my sophomore year, I forgot brother name. He was a football player though for Skyline. And I remember we were just in the gym one day, and another thing that happened to me too when I was 13, I had tore 3 ligaments in my knee. And both of my knees, like in one accident. I remember I was playing and I was like on the fast break, and I had made a move, and the dude fell right in front of me. But when he fell, he kind of like fell on my feet, so I kept going,
Right.
and I tore some stuff up, and I was out for like 9 months, and then when I got back off, I had no athleticism or nothing at all. So after my sophomore year, it kind of like clicked, and I remember we was in the gym just doing all kind of dunks, and that was like the first time I like kind of like got back to dunking. I'm like doing 360s and all kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. And then that summer, like why everybody was at East Lake. Why?
I
Where
remember that.
like I'm talking about, I walk in there and you'll see Hook. You walk in there. Sometimes you might see B Shaw might come through there. I saw him a couple times. I don't remember if he hooped or not, but like all the legends and all the factors and all the hoopers was all going to East Lake. And at that summer, going into my junior year, that's when I made that big leap. I got that athleticism. And when I got that athleticism, I kind of like filled my body out. I was like 6'5" then. And then that's when I started dunking on all the OGs. And this was like payback because if y'all know my pops, like I grew up at
Yeah,
Mosswood.
yeah. I know your
I grew up
pops.
at Mosswood.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like pops hoop legend. Crazy. You know what I'm saying? So every time I get on the court, he wouldn't let me on the court. And then like 11, 12, like I remember me and Maul Hill would be trying to get on the court. He'd be like, all right, get on. And then they'd be cracking our ass.
yep.
and he'd be like, man, you crying, get your ass off the court. So it was like you step on it. Pops told me earlier, you step on this shit, you step in these trenches, you better be ready for this war. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Like, ain't no crying in this shit. Like, they knock you over, you better get up. I ain't fighting for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you made to get on the court with these men.
I
So,
love your dad, man.
man, appreciate that.
Yeah,
So yeah,
your dad remind
pops
me.
was
Your dad
stern.
remind me of Tim Pierce daddy. Like they
Oh
don't
yeah.
I
play.
like that.
Yeah, they
No,
don't
no,
play.
no,
Yeah,
no, for
They don't
real.
play.
yeah.
They go
Like
coach from the
Tim
sideline
Pierce dad
too.
was the same way. Oh yeah, he go scream, he go cuss, he go. Man, we used to be arguing in mid game, me and that
Yes,
fool,
I
man.
know. I was
Yeah,
there.
but you know what I'm saying. So like I was getting my ass whipped for years, and that summer, oh, I went there and I was taking names. I mean, I was punching
Hold
like
on,
like.
time.
I'm sorry, I got to keep it. I got to keep it
No, no,
PG.
no.
My
You
bad.
good?
Nah,
No, no,
brother.
no,
We
no,
all
no.
grown.
Oh,
You
this
said
ain't
you taking
PG.
name.
We all
No,
grown.
no.
Oh, no,
No. We good.
oh, geez, I was punching niggas left and right. Oh yeah, it was a young
Hey,
male party. Like you gotta use for like 5 years. Like I was at East Lake Y since like 12, 13, like just religiously, Sundays and Tuesdays. Like I tell you today, that's what made me. If I give one thing, my who really made me in high school is East Lake Y.
mm.
East Lake Y we was going East Lake Y, the gym downtown in the Chinese area in Chinatown, and the Army base. Pops had me rotating between all them spots. Like so, but East Lake was like I knew everybody that was gonna be there, and I used so I was like, all right, it's y'all turn now.
Who?
And that
What
summer,
OG? What OG
that's
you
when you
punched
got
on the
so you got to
hardest?
think like Theron, old school Theron,
Yeah, yeah.
like but you
My
got to think
God.
they in their 20s though. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like they in their 20s.
Right.
And like all the the young OGs at the time that had just kind of like
Right.
came out of college and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like how we run at like Soldier Town now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like that. Nah, that was Eastlake.
That's
It
dope.
was like I knew
Mm.
faces. I didn't even know everybody's name. Like I knew faces. Like him and Hook used to always compete in the dunk that mall over the cars. I forget dude's name, but he'd be up there like it was everybody up there. So I didn't care what your name was. I knew your face though, and I remember what you did to me. So it was like, all right, guard me now.
Hey, hey, King.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me. So who you punched on at East Lake, man? That's like one of your most memorable dunk on posters. Who got it the hardest?
I remember I caught. I can't even say. I can't even remember their names. It was three of them. No, I caught three of them at once, and I remember
Mm.
it was off a miss, and I timed it perfect. So I came and I jumped. And I forgot one of the tall OGs kind of like hit me in the like I jumped and he jumped and he kind of like hit me a little bit higher. So when I grabbed the ball, I cocked it back and I touched it. When he hit me at the right time. So they was looking up and I was looking down at him. I remember I like smiled hella fast and I like dunked and I pulled myself to try to make that fool fly into the wall. Cause if you know East Lake, the
Yeah.
door behind the court kind of close. So I was really trying to kick that nigga out the gym. You feel me? Like I made a statement with like I had to make a statement, you know what I'm
Oh,
saying? And then I did that, the whole gym kind of was like, oh shit. And they was like, oh, okay. And then after that, like, all right, foul me you want to. I'm coming for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think that's what kind of gave me that boost. So when I'm playing with them, you gotta think when I go, all right, now let me go play high school. It wasn't really the
Yeah.
so so
physicality
so
wasn't the same. You know what I'm saying? Like
so what?
that little ticky tack shit they was giving me wasn't really doing nothing. Like they got me war ready. I was war ready out of East Lake. Sure. Yeah.
So when you go now, when you say get back to high school, let's talk that junior year, y'all keep talking about, man.
Uh,
You at Newark
uh,
Memorial. Did y'all play
mm.
any OAL schools during that year?
And they didn't want that smoke, man.
No, I would. I welcome smoke. I had the lighter with me. I welcomed it. You know what I'm saying? Not that year, because we was
Just
we was fresh. Like they wasn't
okay.
even. They didn't even know I was coming. You know what I'm saying? I didn't
Mm.
even know I was going. So I just popped up, bro. I probably got there in like July. It was like, hey, I'm coming. You know
They
what I'm
got room
saying?
on the
The
team for one
schedule
more.
already done. So I just play who they put in front of us. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember
Yeah.
that summer though, we went and we went and played the Clovis West tournament, and I was playing like Artesia and all them. You know what I'm saying? So like I was playing all them at big LA schools, like and Clovis West was raw at that time. Like I was playing all them schools, so I didn't play OAL schools, even though I was playing AAU circuit. You know what I'm saying? I didn't play no OALs that year. Uh, no.
Hey, but going into your senior year, right? Did Maul ever
Mm-hmm.
be like, bro, you didn't get in cuz you didn't get in this year. We got to get you in right now. This is gonna be our team for your senior year. Like, did they ever try
Hell
to
no.
come back and snatch you up? You was
I
good. And
already
then
turned. I turned Newark around by that point. Like
absolutely, because
we won the championship. Like I took them further than the school ever been at that year. My
and
junior
then
year.
your senior year,
Our
it gets
senior was
even more
stupid.
funky. Get even more funky. Y'all finish off 32-0. What the hell was
Yeah,
that
senior
like?
year was stupid.
What the hell was that
It
like?
wasn't even,
What the
bro.
hell was
To
that
be
like?
honest with you, it wasn't even 32-0, bro. We was probably like 50 something and one.
Talking about summer league and
If you
everything.
include summer,
Yeah.
if you include
Summer.
summer,
Okay.
all them summer tournaments and all that, we didn't lose. Like the only team that beat me my senior year was Dominguez Hills
Dominguez.
Compton with Tyson Chandler in the state that year.
Me,
That's
me,
the only team that
me,
beat me my senior year.
me and
Sure.
Ken
I
got a
think that's the only
homeboy
team
that went.
that beat me my my whole senior season. If you want to just AU everything, like we ran through everything that year. I don't think I lost too many games after my junior year. If I did, it probably had to be two
It
at
was
the most.
definitely two,
Like,
and you know what I'm talking about.
Uh oh.
oh
Uh
yeah,
oh.
yeah, we lost that. But you ever seen an MVP don't play the whole tournament and lose?
We definitely got to get to
We
that.
gonna
We
get to
definitely
that.
got to get to
Right.
that. But yeah, but like Lo was saying, 32-0, man. Like going through that
Hmm.
season undefeated, blowing through everybody. Like just like talk to like what was that like? What was the vibe on campus? I ain't never went
It
undefeated,
was
so
surreal. It was surreal. So my junior year, with our first league game, we played Logan, and Logan beat us at home, and they celebrated. bro. They danced on our court and the whole thing, bro. My first league game, and I was hot. I'm like, okay, all right. And I ain't never lost a league game after that.
Mm,
Since the junior first game
mm,
junior year,
So who
I
was
ain't
in
never
y'all
lost
league?
mm.
another game.
Logan, what like Kennedy Fremont? Like who
We
was
had
in y'all league?
Logan, Kennedy, Washington. Um, yeah, it was so long ago. Logan, Kennedy, Washington was like the big
The,
games.
the big ones.
That was like the people we had to fight with. But my senior year, so my senior got Matt Rasmussen in. So my junior year we supposed to be raw too. We supposed to have this dude named Kahari. Kahari, I believe his name Lance, but he ended up transferring. He was like Lamar Odom. He was like 6'9" lefty
Damn.
guard,
Wow.
like raw. But then we got Matt in senior year. So Matt was like a football player that had some hoop game. He was like rough. He was physical and he was short, like 6'4", 6'5", but he was big, but he had a motor. Like
Six
his
four is
motor was
short.
crazy. Yeah, he's short. For a big, yeah, short.
Oh, for a big, yeah, yeah, okay,
For a big. I ain't capping on you, Keith. Little ass. Nah, but I ain't capping on you. But so he played the big. So we played the first couple tournaments, and I won the MVPs for both tournaments. Like I remember at the beginning of my senior year, I was averaging like 30, and I was like, I'm about to run this shit up. And my coach pulled me to the side, and this was probably one of the best things he ever did to me, because he taught me how to win rather than just be a bucket. You know what I'm saying? Because like we grew up in Oakland. Like when we go head up, it's buckets,
We want to
bro.
get buckets. We
Buckets,
want
yeah.
our
Get a
buckets.
bucket.
Yeah.
You score on me, you gotta give me the ball right back. I'm
Right
coming
back.
right back at you. You know what I'm saying? So he put me to the side. He's like, look, if you want to win, you got to bring Matt under you, and you got to help him succeed, and then we'll be able to win. And so he kept telling me that, like, that was on repeat. So like the first two tournaments I was serving, and Matt wasn't really catching on yet. He was new. This was first year, so he didn't really have the camaraderie with the team. So I kind of like took him in, like, all right. And then I figured out his game. My coach was kind of like, we'd sit down, me and Coach Ashmore kind of like sit down and talk and be like, and he'd be like, look, this what he good at. This what he do. This how you support him. This how. So he's like, help him get easy buckets. I'm gonna kind of like give you the ball a little bit more on the wing now and kind of like let you facilitate, because my junior year he just really had me in the post. And that was another blessing too, because like I said, I grew, and I never really played the post. I was always a guard. So my junior year, he really didn't let me on the wing at all. Didn't let me shoot nothing. Like, I could shoot like crazy. He didn't want me doing none of that. He just like taught me the post, which gave my game balance. So now, like, instead of getting a guard, and I always want to dance and try to dance with the guards, I was just backing them down and abusing them. So he kind of like gave that to me. So when we had Matt, he was like, Matt's athletic, he's fast, he got a high motor, set him up. Like we used to have out of bounds plays because I always could throw. I would play football a little bit, but I was an Oakland kid. Like we played street football. Like I was the quarterback all the time, so I could throw. So we used to have like out of bounds plays. Like soon as that shit touched the net, I wouldn't even touch it two hands. I grab it one hand, take my right foot out of bounds, lift my left hand, shoot that shit down the court, and he'd catch it like a wide receiver and layup. So we start doing that, and like we practice that like every day, like for like 20 minutes out the day. All I do is like we'll run fast break drills, but I'll be the one on the court, catch, throw, on the court, catch, throw, catch, throw. And that'll give him like points. So then he started figuring out the game. And the crazy part about it was that senior year we started winning and we started getting confident. Like we had a team that all liked each other. You know what I'm
Support
saying?
them,
Like
yeah.
we had dogs, even though they wasn't dogs like on our level. You know what I'm saying? Like Oakland. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they was dogs for who they were. You know what I'm saying? They get in the trenches and scrap. So I was like the head. So I'm like I'm moving everything. So we just now we like catching the wave, but we smacking people. Like if we played 32 games, no lie, and I had to look at it again. If we played 32 games, probably 18 to 20 of them I ain't played the fourth quarter.
Yeah, now y'all was going to work
Mm.
for sure. Y'all was going to work
Like
for
if you
sure.
look at my stats, I really only averaged like 20. I didn't play the fourth quarter most games, but I didn't care though,
Right,
and
right, right.
it helped us in the end. See, the thing was, I didn't care. We started winning, and we was winning at a rate was like, man, we smacking everybody. Like even from the summer. So I'm like, I'm just continuing with the flow. So it was crazy. I got so much into the flow, and I didn't really care, and I was like facilitating. I was having fun. Like Matt averaged more than me.
Yeah.
Like
Mm.
I didn't care though. It wasn't really like shit. By the time you 15 and 0, you don't care about no stats like
Right.
that. When your stats is
Right,
good
right.
and you know you
You
ain't
want to go to the
you.
state?
I'm only averaging 20 because I'm not playing the fourth quarter,
Right.
and I'm sitting down like clapping my teammates on and doing the whole thing. So I'm not tripping, you know. So we just going and then like I mean we had a few tough games that we pulled out where I had to kind of like step up in the end, but they knew like when we needed buckets, all right, when it got tough. I if I am playing the fourth quarter, give me the ball.
Yeah.
I'm gonna finish the game out. And like we got down, so when we got to the playoffs, I thought Hayward was gonna give us a problem. Hayward was kind of deep. I think we got Hayward in NCS. Yeah, we got Woodside, and then we got I think we got Woodside, then we got Hayward.
Hayward said
Um,
they got cheated.
This is Jay Gaff team. Jay
Yeah.
Gaff team.
nah,
Yeah.
cap, cap,
Jay Gaff.
nah,
Jason Gaffney.
nah. Bro, we listen. I was the ball off the backboard. I'm dunking on the back of this fool's neck, bro. They ain't get cheated. They got ran.
All
They
right,
got
now
ran.
leading up
They
to
wasn't ready for
Dominguez.
us.
So now y'all get to
So we
Dominguez.
get to
Yeah.
Dominguez.
National power,
So
number
look,
one player in the
look,
nation.
look.
Marquin
None
versus
of that.
Tyson.
I don't care about none of that shit. Look, when we play St. Francis, and St. Francis tried to cheat us. They tried to cheat us out of that one. It was on my birthday. We was at Arco. They fouled me and Matt out in the third quarter.
And y'all pulled it out?
Mm.
Yeah. You
Wow.
know why? Because we never played the fucking fourth quarter.
So it wasn't nothing different for y'all.
Nah, they was ready.
It was ready. Was
You know
that
what I'm
Chase
saying? And
Lyman? Was
that's the
Chase Lyman
beauty.
on that team, St. Francis?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe
Played the
so.
football player, went to Cal.
Um,
Hey, that's good coaching right there, though. That's
so
It
great
is.
coaching.
Yeah.
oh yeah, Coach Ashmore is the best coach in Northern California. I almost want to say California by far. You gotta think it's Newark. Come on, who Newark really get? Newark been to the state twice. They run a division until Monroe came, but you know Monroe, them scholarship recruited soldier players. You know how they go. And they was still having trouble with Newark. With Newark, like Coach Ashmore was raw. Like I give Coach Ashmore like all my credit. He Coach Ashmore made me a pro. Just put it like that. He made me a pro because he taught me the game. Like, come on, we in the NorCal finals, and you got 41 points on the bench in the third quarter, and our team pulled it out. Like that's great
That's
ass
big.
coaching,
That's
but
big.
all our players was ready. Like, come on, man, all our players averaged over 10 minutes a game, all of them. We didn't have no bench players, even though some of them wasn't really that talented, but they knew they role. Everybody knew they role and they played it. Like we didn't have five guys all trying to be the man. Like you knew who the dog was. Like I was like the leader. Then you had Matt right next to me, and then we had Brandon Erickson, our shooter, and then we had Cheo. So, and then we had everybody else kind of like fell in line and did what they did, but nah, we was all prepared. Like them 18 to 20 games I never played the fourth quarter, they was ready. They wasn't scared. They was nothing. They got us through. They pulled that shit off. And
Shout
so
out to the
we
role
so now
players.
we got Dominguez, Hills, Compton. And my coach said it like that in the locker room. And all them fools' faces dropped when they heard Compton.
Mm, mm.
Ain't no way to prepare for
And
that.
then they put it on the highlight tape. Oh my God, these niggas was doing everything.
Oh, the jumbotron.
Hey, look, I forget the point guard name. He a big LA guard too. He was hurt, and when I was lucky he was hurt. That nigga was saucy. I couldn't even tell you his name, but they had 91s.
Yeah. But I
They
just
had
looked at their roster today.
91s.
I don't remember hearing about any of them other than Tyson. I just looked at the roster today. I'm like, I don't remember none of these dudes.
They all with the big schools.
Yeah. Okay.
They all with the big school. I forget Buddy named the lefty. He was raw. He cool too. He was at Arizona State with Mar Hill. Like they all went big
Okay.
schools. They had
The
91.
lefty.
Like and they was good, but the thing was you had too many good players.
Yeah.
So everybody couldn't
I mean,
showcase.
they've been going to the
But
state.
when we was in that locker room, they said Compton. They put on a highlight tape. I ain't gonna tell you. I ain't gonna lie. I knew we was gonna lose. They wasn't ready. I ain't gonna even cap.
Right.
Like
Hey, it
that
was
was
a
the
little
first
different
game
than
I
playing
lost where I
Logan
wasn't
in
even
Washington.
mad.
Right.
Nah, it was completely different. The title gave it away.
Yeah, but you
And
but you
then
had
what
a good
happened in
game
the
though. You had a
game,
good
I was
game
like,
though.
oh no, we I don't think we pulling this one off.
Yeah.
No, I don't think. So we in the we in the state game and we playing. We jump out early. They put Tyson on me early. I hit two threes hella deep, quick. Boom boom. First minute. Oh, they was like, fuck that. They got Tyson off me real fast. They put somebody on me and they just had they boxing won me
Boxing one, yeah.
in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And then they damn near got to a triangle and two because I was the only one doing something because we got in the game and Matt and I forget they power forward, the football player like he was a football, he went to school for football. They fell. And then I guess Matt didn't get off of him as fast as dude hoped. So dude bench pressed Matt and slammed him. Boom. Mid game. Right.
Game over.
So my other teammate run over there. So dude bounce up. Hood nigga. Dude bounce up. Boom. What's up? Brandon like, nah, I'm just trying to get my teammate.
The game
And then
within the
Matt went
game.
to the hole and did a finger roll. And Tyson slapped that shit and it hit the backboard and went all the way out of bounds. And after that, them two dudes was 5 for
Yeah, I
27.
looked at the box score. I said, "Man, King was out there by himself." It looked
I was by
low.
myself.
It looked like the box score when Levy was talking about they played Jesuit, and he
Oh
was the
yeah,
only.
yeah.
That's what the box score looked like. Like, damn,
Mm.
King was out there by himself.
I was by myself that game. They was shook. They was shook, but I was in the state. I'm playing at Arco. We playing Tyson and them. By the end of the game, all these niggas like, bro, you saucy, bro, like respect.
Oh,
Because
for sure.
they was trying to punk me. Come on, man, I'm not going for that. You
Compton,
stop
Oakland ain't
all
no
that.
different, bro.
Yeah, you stop all that.
Hey,
You can look in the crowd too, bro.
Yeah,
You can look in
right.
the crowd. I got that whole section right there
whatever
too.
you want, whatever you want.
Yeah, that
But
section
low,
right there, nigga.
but
Right
low,
there, that's us.
low. So he lost one game in the regular season, right? So when the season over, it's an all-star game. All the leagues, the OAL, the ACCAL, the EBAL, whatever, right? So we come up, it's us against King, OAL versus, I don't know, whatever freaking league they in, right? Bunch of scrubs.
OL gets king.
HAAL.
Yeah, I say, man, a bunch of scrubs. I don't even remember to this day. We go out there now, mind you, King grew up in Oakland, like he just said. He done been to all the schools, right? So I played AAU with him. He know Dante, like him and Dante, like thick as thieves. Dante Campbell, uh, Matt Taylor on the team, Stanley Cornelius on the team. So they was all playing Skyline together. Jay Van Eck on the team, Paul Marigny. So we all know Marquin. And I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I said, when me and King played AAU together, King wasn't that good. Like, don't let him lie to you. He wasn't that good. So I'm thinking, we all thinking, man, that's that garbage ass league he been playing in, right? Like, got him looking hella good. So we licking our chops like we about to show everybody like King ain't that good. Low. King came out. But the fish get bigger and bigger every time I tell the story. But realistically, like on my mama, if I had to bet $1, I swear to God, he scored at least 50, bro, and never went in the key. And
All
everybody,
jumpers?
huh?
All jumpers?
From the volleyball line and was telling us what he gonna do. So we in the hut. So the first person come out, they like, all right, you got Marquin. Don't worry about that. I don't even know who them
Call
players are.
his nah,
Huh?
don't do that. Say his name. Who's
I
first?
don't even remember who
Because
started, but whoever
I
was the
ran
first
down all
person that
y'all,
got
so
some,
you gotta say names.
I don't remember who started, so I ain't gonna get on here lying. But
All right.
somebody got some, and we call timeout. King just busting ass, right? We get to the huddle. Me and Tay like, man, cause me and Tay we like football players. We like fuck that, man. There ain't nobody about to come out here like that. So me and Tay arguing who gonna guard King. So I said, Tay, go ahead, bud. Tay get his ass smacked. Jermaine Washington get his ass smacked. Matt Taylor. Now you want to say names? Some people did. Some people was trying to not make eye contact when it came to who was gonna guard them.
Not
Some
MC.
people
Don't do
started
MC like
looking.
that. Don't do MC like that. Don't do MC like that, man.
Hey, hey. So everybody gets something. So I come
Shout
around the
out MT too.
and shout out him. That's my dog, but yeah, we gonna tell the truth.
That's my
That's
guy,
my
man.
guy though, man. We go way back. So anyway,
Yeah.
so I come in about third, fourth quarter. I swear to God, I'm the man. Like I'm about to. So I pick up King, like they take the ball out. I pick up King like at the other free throw
In the
line.
back, in the
Yeah.
back court.
And bruh, that shit stops right here. Like I ain't Matt Taylor, nigga. Like I'm about nigga. I said, oh shit. It's about to be a long one. And if you get up on him, he just gonna go by you. Bruh, I swear to God, 50 and never went in the key, and all of us got a taste. But we won.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you told the story.
And it's a three game tournament. King won MVP and only played one game.
Wow. That
And
one game
and
against
we
y'all.
lost.
And
And
they
we
lost.
lost.
And they lost.
A 3 game
So
tournament. He plays
so
one
low.
game
You
against
ain't see a
MVP of the
lot,
whole
but that
tournament.
lets you know what I did to them. And
Hold
I
on. The
broke the
OAL
scoring
won it.
record.
OAL won it.
Oh, by far, bro. I
Yeah,
mean, even
OAL
that game
won
we
it, but I
won
broke
by
the
it was
scoring
never
record
close.
on them
But
and all that.
I was like,
It
nah.
was fun though, and it give you a little insight on that game, right? So me, P40 and Maul Hill, we was all Magic. We played for Magic. So I give P a lot of credit with my game. P40 a lot of credit with my game. And Maul Hill a lot of credit because I was playing them day in and day out. Like like if we was hooping, I was hooping against them like 4 or 5 days a week. Like so, iron sharper iron. So like you don't get no passes playing against P40 or Maul Hill at that time. Like you get your ass whooped. So like I give them a lot of my credit, but y'all was talking shit to me before that game. Like, nigga, this ain't Newark. Nigga, yeah, you playing against Oakland, and you playing against this, and then here come Paul. Yeah, nigga, you ain't about to do shit. We about to destroy y'all, and blah 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 blah. They hitting me with everything under the book, like I really ain't from Oakland. So I had to set a demonstration. That was a demonstration, bro. Like what that was is like, all right. Let me show y'all who the king is. Like let's put this because this, even though that wasn't all the best out of Oakland, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like
yeah, no, it was some underclassmen. Yeah,
it, yeah, I think they forgot. So yeah, bro, that was a demonstration. But that was fun though.
Hey,
It was
it was
like one of them
fun.
ones
It
where
was
I ain't
fun. Low,
had to
you know,
get
I talk a
mad.
lot of shit too, but
yeah.
I can't even say nothing about that game, man. It wasn't pretty.
Mm.
Hey, y'all
Hey,
lucky we
King.
lost though, because if I would have won, y'all would have never.
Oh,
I wouldn't even be on this podcast right now. You wouldn't be able to talk to me, kid.
Oh man, that would have been a
If
straight.
I'd have
And
beat
like you
all y'all
said,
by
if
myself,
you would have won, not your
y'all would have
team,
been able to
because
talk
man,
to
I'm
me.
like them niggas didn't
I
show
would have
up.
won.
But I'm like, yeah,
Oh yeah,
if
nah,
you would have won,
y'all
because
would
it
have
would
been
have
able
been
to win
you
that
by
dinner.
yourself.
Hey, Keen, I
Hmm.
know you went to San Jose
What's up,
State,
baby?
man. What was the recruit? What was the recruiting like? What was the recruiting like your senior year?
When I got to Newark, I wasn't really like into school like that. Like I was still like outside a little bit. Like I had two of my cousins staying with me that was really from it. Like one was from Ghost Town and one was from 77th, Greenside. You know what I'm saying? So I had both of them in my house. So like my vision and direction was crazy at that point. So I didn't really care about school. And to be honest with you, so my senior year, I'm starting to get letters. I'm starting to get coaches coming. I remember I forgot who the Stanford coach was at the time. I want to say it might have been Montgomery. Um, but he was coming to my games. I had hella coaches coming to my games. And then that was the first time he was like, oh yeah, send me your transcripts and we're gonna look at it. And I thought about it. I'm like, okay, I'll send it over. And I thought in the back of my head, like, man, these niggas ain't about to take me in no Stanford once they see these transcripts. So senior year rolling around, I'm getting hella letters. Coach Ashmore come in there and come talk to me. He's like, hey, you getting all these letters? What's your SAT score? I'm like, what you mean? What you mean what's my SAT score? I ain't taking no SAT. It's like, what you talking about? It's like, man, I'm going to school on a basketball scholarship. This is what I told him. I'm going to school on a basketball scholarship, coach. Why I gotta take the SAT for? It's like you can't get your scholarship unless you pass SAT. I'm like, what you talking about? Mind you, bro, this is probably like January, February. I ain't even attempted to take the SAT.
Mm,
I'm like, I gotta pass that to get this. He's like, yes. So my mama, that's how out of it we was. That's how far we was entrenched to Oakland. So I think my mama found out who Jason Kidd tutor was. It was this lady. I forget her name. So they hired her to tutor me. But I'm going over it. I ain't really understanding this. And this is exclusive. I ain't never told this story out loud. I'm about to give y'all, sorry, Maul Hill, but I'm about to give y'all something that the world don't even know. I cheated that SAT. Straight
mm,
up. I ain't gonna even front. It was like May. So I go take the first one. And so I got good vision. I got 20/20. So, I go take the first one. I'm like, man, I got this. I go take it. And I'm like, damn. I'm like, man, I don't know none of this, man. To be honest, I'm going through tutoring and the whole thing. I'm like, damn, man. So, but what I did was I figured out the test. And I figured out how they structured it. So I don't want to tell people because I don't want people to do it. I can tell you how to do it and everything, but I ain't gonna tell you. I ain't gonna get the blueprint. But just say, Maul Hill committed to Eastern Washington early, um, before he took his SAT and everything. So I told Maul how to do it, and I told Maul last. I said, hey, don't do all of them. Do a portion. And this nigga did all of them, and they flagged his ass. And that nigga went from like a seven something to like a 12, like a
mm.
1200. And they flagged him. It said somebody took the test for him, so he couldn't go to Eastern Washington. Because I was gonna go to Eastern Washington with him. So I did it. I went from 770 to a 990, and I needed an eight. I needed an 820. So I was like, man, I barely missed the shit. So I just kind of did a couple things to get by. So that's how I ended up passing the SAT. So when I passed the SAT, it was like July. The only schools I had left on me that was still like pushing real hard was San Jose State and George Washington. and I took my trip to George Washington in July, and I saw Chocolate City, and I left. That was really what it
Mm.
was, bro. I ain't never really been
Did
out of Oakland like that. Like the only two times I've been out of Oakland, I went to Utah, and I went to Vegas once. And that was the only two times I really been out of the city like that. And I went to DC and saw something completely different than I ever seen in my life. I had Baylor and I had Nebraska, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna be able to play in that playing the same league as Kansas, and then I was like, if I could get to that league and serve, I know I could get to the NBA off of that. So I really wanted to go to Baylor. Like I could have went to Washington, Washington State, St. Mary's, um, and I saw the interview y'all did with Paul, and I'm gonna tell you why I didn't go to St. Mary's too. But I had St. Mary's, all the Cal states. But the thing was, I really wanted to go to Cal.
What happened with St. Mary's?
So St. Mary's in the summer, right? In the summer, I used to go play up there. Like all the time, I go play all the runs. Anywhere is a good run, I go play. So I was playing at St. Mary's a lot. And so when I was at George Washington, um, we had a phone code scandal. They called it the phone code scandal. That's why I said, bro, I got stories for days, bro. So at
the
George
phone
Washington,
call.
phone code scandal. So I'm at George Washington. I go there, and mind you, like we broke at this time. Like I went to George Washington with like $80 in a bag. Like I ain't had shit. Like I slept in the coach's office 2 weeks. Like until I had my mom was like, just make it 2 weeks, and then I'm gonna come down and so I slept in the coach's office 2 weeks. So while I was in the coach's office, the secretary the secretary would so the phone system was you would dial a number and then you got codes, and that's how you keep your phone bill. So the secretary would let me call home, and then she'll put in the code so I could talk. So I call my mom and like call everything, and I like and at the time I was about to have a daughter, so I was like calling, calling everybody I needed to call, but she was punching in the code. And then so I got my mom's came out like after like 3 weeks she came, and then she bought all the stuff, so I kind of like settled in my room and got outside. So the secretary gave out the code to like me and like three other players. So we making calls, but I'm calling Cali, like we in DC, so one calling Baltimore. My phone bill is naturally gonna be higher. So once I get settled in, I'm giving y'all game. I'm kicking game because I don't do a lot of podcasts. So when I got settled in at GW after a couple months, they kind of like shot me that bag. You know what I'm saying? So as we going, uh, the phone bills or some kind of thing or something like that. So my coaches call us all into the office, and they like, hey, y'all got to hurry up and pay these bills. And they looked at me and was like, hey, you gotta hurry up and pay this bill. My bill was 1,800. It's like, you gotta hurry up and pay this bill. I know you got it. And that's how he looked at me like, I know you got it. Because they knew I had it because you feel me? So they was
The
like,
scholarship money kick in. Yeah.
yeah. So they like, I know you got it. So I'm like, I'm not paying that. Y'all gave it to me. Bro, next day, I'm on the cover of the Washington Post
I remember
sports
that.
section.
I remember that.
Wow.
I remember
I'm
that.
on the cover,
Wow.
bro. My picture hella big. They picture small. They put it on me because my bill was the highest. It said I gave the code to three of my teammates.
Wow.
And then I'm hella mad because then I paid the bill and still got suspended 11 games, bro. I'm so mad I paid that funky ass 1,800, bro. I paid the bill, still got suspended 11 games, bro.
I
And I'm
remember that.
hot because this going
Wow.
into my sophomore year. they kind of like high on me a little bit right now. I like broke the rebound record. I remember I had like 11 points, 11 rebounds, and I remember um I think Red Auerbach was at the game, and and he um he shook my hand that game. He was like, "You're gonna be special," and I was like, "Damn, that's dope," because I had 10 offensive rebounds that game. Like I think I still got that record up there at GW. So going into my sophomore year, I'm kind of like, we playing summer league. That's when they got like James White coming through. James White with the hops that was in the dunk
Yeah,
contest. He
Cincinnati.
was
Yeah.
saucy. Like they got hella like UConn players down there, and I remember we playing open gym, and I'm serving. So they like, all right, but then I'm suspended 11 games. We get a new coach in because my coach got fired. So like coming into my sophomore year, it was bad. It was bad. So I sat them 11 games. I'm hella mad because we played Chuck. We played Kentucky that year, and I was hella looking forward to play Chuck. Chuck was Chuck Hayes. He was at Kentucky, so I'm like, cool. Me and Chuck about to go at it, you know what I'm saying, and everything. But I'm suspended for that game, the whole thing. So I go through my sophomore year, like it was another thing. I caught a case. I had to beat a case out of DC. They kind of like kicked me off the team. So when I was coming back to make my choices, I was going to St. Mary's and I was playing a lot with Bennett. And Bennett was like, man, come here, come here, come here. I knew Paul was there and I could kind of see what was going on with Paul, but he was still serving. And so I'm like, nah, Paul got a shot. And I didn't want to go there because I'm an alpha, right? I can't sit behind people unless you really prove to me you like that much better than me. Because I'm gonna go at you every day, like I'm trying to kill you, right? Just to prove my point, to kind of like show me, like what you saw in that All Star game was like a little dose. Like if
Right.
you'd have caught me every day, like I'm trying to destroy you like that every day. Like I'm gonna try to break you mentally and the whole thing. Like I'm gonna show you I'm the alpha. So I didn't go to St. Mary's out of respect for Paul because I thought I was gonna get in his way.
Mm.
If you kind of understand what I'm saying, I
I
kind of
think I
thought like
totally
Yeah,
understand what you
I get it.
said.
I
I
get
thought
it.
I was gonna get in
I
his
get it.
way because that's all they needed was a three. If you look at Paul, if you look at that St. Mary team, them last 2 years, Paul last 2 years, they had the Australian bigs and all them. The stretch one, the one that could shoot, he was getting a lot of hype. You had P, you had I'm gonna think of his name. What's his name? The point guard that I'm cool with, that was up there at St. Mary's. He was raw. He played overseas hella years and shit. They only needed a three, but I didn't want to give Paul away. I love Paul too much, and I was like, man, if I come there, we gonna be battling, and I don't want to battle with P. Um, to try to see, because if I go to St. Mary's and I get to the league and Paul don't, or Paul get to the league and I don't, I feel like we kind of got in each other's way.
That's
You
respect.
know what I'm saying? In that time, I ain't think like two niggas coming out of St. Mary's gonna go to the league at the
Right,
same
right,
time. I
right,
was like,
right.
nah,
No,
that's not
I
gonna happen.
respect that.
Yeah,
I
not at the
respect
same
that.
So
time. Not at
then,
the same time.
so not at the same time. So then San Jose State was knocking on me real hard, and my coach Phil Johnson. So Phil Johnson was a great fucking salesman. Let's just say that. Like he sold the shit out of San Jose State, and I went for it. I was his first recruit. And what people don't know, Phil Johnson was in this little boys club. He just left the Bulls. Like he left the Chicago Bulls to come coach San Jose State. His brother was the head scout for the Bobcats at that time.
Wow.
So he was like, you come in, you do this, I'll get you to the league.
Right.
All right, cool, let's go, let's run it. I got a year, I got to sit out because I transferred, so I'm gonna get myself ready. It's cool, let's go. So the year I sat out, I'm like destroying. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like I'm coming out, and at the same time, me and P was playing pro am. Me and Paul was playing pro am together, and around them times, like we had the hype. Like they was coming to watch us like a motherfucker. Like I led the pro am in scoring 4 years straight. I think maybe five. But I can't really say the fifth because I didn't play that many games. Because by that time I was like overseas and I had hella shit going on. I was like kind of like at my height, so I was like doing a lot of side stuff. Um, but I like led the pro am in scoring for like 4 years straight, and like so going into my junior year, I had a lot of hype because I think that year I was averaging like 31 in the pro am, and this was like the pro am when everybody's playing. This was like when pro am was real. Still, it was like you had to get him damn near invited to a team to be on the team and to go play because we was playing all the league players at the time. But I was serving, so all my San Jose State boosters was coming to the game. And they was hyped. They was like, "All right, we got a dog," and we had like a balanced team at that time. So they like hyped, and my coach didn't like it for some reason. He just didn't like it at all. So he just kind of like, cause I wasn't a kiss ass. I'm a hooper. Like, let's hoop, man. Put me on the court. I don't need to. Like, I play basketball, bro. Like, I don't. I'm not. Hey, coach. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm a dog. You got a dog. Like, let me out the cage, my nigga, and I'm gonna go put in some work. So he didn't like all of the fucking attention I was getting from the boosters. He didn't like none of it. So I
Mm.
most of the time, bro, I was on the bench. Like going into after I served that year and then his junior year I'm playing, bro, I'm on the bench. Bro, I'm averaging 31 in the pro am. I'm talking about we going against Gilbert Arenas when Gilbert Arenas is Gilbert Arenas,
I
Jason
remember.
Richardson when
I
Jason
remember.
Richardson,
Mm-hmm.
Jason
I
Richardson,
remember.
all the Warriors players at that time, and everybody that was flying in at that time, we going at it, and I'm serving. Like I led that motherfucking scoring. So I led this shit in scoring. Bro, I'm averaging like 6 minutes. We played
Mm.
Cal State Stanislaus, bro. I ain't even getting the game into the third quarter.
That we hear that a lot,
A
and
lot.
all of the
A lot.
guys that played basketball on that next level college dealt with some form
Hmm.
of politics, like where his coaching shit and our egos, right? This
Yep.
coach had an ego because Marquin was getting some attention from boosters, right? And I looked at that
Hmm.
after watching that movie you told me to watch, Ken, The Scheme. I
Yeah,
watched
you
The
saw it?
Scheme. I watched The Scheme, and you see how these coaches want to put something in their pocket, man,
Right.
or control to make it feel like this kid owe me something, right?
Right.
So, Ken, we would
Hmm.
love to have a podcast where you guys can come on and talk about, man, the politics that goes on in basketball and picking the right school. Because Paul's story kind of messed with me a little bit because to see that Paul is scoring 40 and coming off the bench, it's like,
Off the
why this
bench,
dude
bro.
not a starter?
Paul should have been in the league. Me and P should have been in the league. Straight up.
Well,
So,
It
well,
wasn't no
let's stay
question.
on that note. Like, okay, we got you, we got Paul, and then right after this, low, we got to get into the list. But like, who are some of the other guys that you think are kind of like didn't get they just due, or they kind of like on the same level as far as dog mentality as you and Paul?
I mean, I got to go
In
Mar
day.
Hill, man. I
In
was at
day.
Arizona Allende, but Allende went to
In
Cal.
day.
He went to Cal straight out of high school, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I say
He
in
went straight out
day.
of high school.
Uh Maul had a shot, but Maul wasn't. I don't think Maul was fully invested in basketball. I don't think he was fully invested like Paul was. Me and Paul was, because you gotta understand, like me and Paul played pro am every year on the same team, and yeah, out of a 5 year span, me and Paul both averaged over 30. I think 2 or 3 of those years. Like I led in the scoring, and Paul was either second or third. Like we played everybody, any nigga you name from around here in the vicinity. We played and we served, like straight up,
But
like
that's only three
anybody.
people. That's only three people,
Hey,
and I do agree
but
with
no,
that.
no,
And
no.
I had
But you got to
a
say league bound. Not everybody can say the league.
no.
You can't say like
I hear
that
what you're
list.
saying.
Like I tell you the list. Like I told you the
Hold on,
list.
hold
You
on,
know,
stop, hold on,
like
hold on,
it's
wait.
really
No, no,
only
no,
10
King.
on that list.
Hold up, go low.
Hold
15
on,
maybe.
King. Hold on. King,
What's
now
up,
that we
buddy?
got
What's
you on the
up?
top, we got you on the topic of the list, right? The
Right,
topic of
right,
the
right,
list.
right,
You know, it's
right.
infamous now, right? It's infamous now, right? And
Yeah,
you say it's only
yeah,
about 10, right? If we had to
yeah.
rank that, about the 10, who do you feel like, we always ask the overrated, underrated question. So who do you feel as on that list that we could say was kind of overrated?
Tell me the list again. I'll tell you.
We can look it
Ken
up.
got the
You
Another
got your
list,
player
phone
right?
on
that
you?
went to
You
the
got your
league
phone on you?
easy.
Huh?
Me.
Yeah. Do you
You
got your
said
phone
mine?
on you?
Do I have mine? Yeah.
Nah.
If you text it to me, I can pull it up.
Okay.
There's another player, and he was my favorite high school player ever. Like I looked up to Daryl Tucker, D Tuck.
D Tuck, D Tuck.
D Tuck was my favorite. I salute D Tuck. D Tuck was raw as hell. He should have been in the league. I don't know why he wasn't. I think it was just because of
I'll
USF.
tell you why. I'll tell you why. And this has been
You
Oh
might
yeah,
gotta
confirmed.
let
tell
the
me
you
why.
got
I'll tell
you
you
gotta
why.
let the
We just
podcast tell it, kid. You gotta let the podcast tell it, kid.
So
You gotta wait to
we just did detail
Oh yeah,
game.
let the podcast tell the
Okay.
kid because I'm watching D Tuck for show because no
Politics. I'm
no
gonna just leave
lie,
it at
bro.
that.
D
Politics.
Tuck was my favorite. D Tuck was my favorite player. Like I used to go watch D Tuck. Like he didn't even know.
Politics,
I was
bro.
going to watch him. Like I give big respect to D Tuck. He should have been in the league.
hey, but
Okay, I'm looking at your
what
list. Go ahead.
what about
Go
Keith
ahead, Lo.
Wheelwright, man? What about Keith
Hell
Wheelwright?
yeah.
Because even though he was
Keith
ineligible,
Wheelwright
I
in
felt
my
he
top
had elite
25.
potential.
Keith
Okay.
Wheelwright in my top
I just had to
25.
make sure, man, because I be feeling like I say this all the time, and I get the low, but he didn't play, and I'm like, but dude, this motherfucker potential was so high, like
Oh,
his
his
potential
potential was
was up
stupid.
there,
Keith
and
Wright was
I
supposed to
wish
go
he
to
could have got to
LSU.
play.
He's supposed to go to
I,
LSU.
I
I
wish he
remember
would have, man.
like the thing. He was another one. He was another one that didn't take basketball serious. He just didn't take it serious enough. Like if he took it serious like me and Paul, he would have been in the league. Like no lie, he was T Mac.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was T
Yeah.
Mac. He was T Mac. He
Hmm.
was 6'9". No, that nigga 6'10".
He
That
tall as
nigga
shit.
that nigga was a
He tall.
6'10" T Mac.
Yeah, he tall. And he
Like
got
you don't
game.
understand. Like he'll tell you if you see Keith, he'll tell you the story how I did him in the Super 60 camp though. He'll tell I probably gave him 60 in that camp, but um that that nigga had the most potential out of all of us. Easy.
Yeah, that's
It's
what
not
me and Low
even.
keep saying.
It's not even close.
That's what me and
It's
Low keep
not
saying.
close.
We totally agree on that one.
Hey, now
Like
you got the list.
two dudes I wish that took it serious was CG and Keith.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm
Absolutely.
looking
People
at
think
y'all
CG's
list
son is
now.
good, but CG, man, God, his son get it honest.
We had a whole debate about that. I think CG was better than his son, but his son got accolades though. His son's super raw.
I haven't seen his
His son
son
raw.
play in high school. I saw him play on TV at Georgetown, but in high school, I never saw
On
him
high
play.
school, he was saucy.
He was killing
He
that.
was
He was
serving
killing that.
everywhere. He
At
was
what was
serving
that?
everywhere.
Salesian.
Salesian.
At Salesian, he was killing that Salesian.
I mean, he
You
was
got the
killing.
list.
He was killing in all them circuits too. Like he won. He
Yeah.
won them. He won that big tournament and all that. Like that. I think it's Peach Jam and all. Like he was serving. And and
Mm.
and if he was serving, you got to think about his dad. His dad is a legend to me. His
Absolutely.
dad was
He
the
is.
best point
He
guard I
is.
ever played
He
with.
is.
Yeah,
Period.
no, just
He
I
straight
is.
ever.
love.
He was the best to me outside of Dame, and of course you got to go J Kidd and GP and D Shaw. Then it was CG to me because I got a full dose of CG. I played with him so much. You know what I'm saying on AAU and practice and all that. Like we used to, first 2 minutes we used to let CG go. Like nigga, try to make somebody fall. Like that was his thing.
Yeah.
Like he would embarrass the point guard, and how raw CG was. You got me, Maul Hill, P40, sometimes Gary Hill Thomas, and you got CG running the show. Like, how you run a show with that many dogs there? You know what I'm saying? Like, we could have took anybody, and if they could bring the ball up the court and pass it, that was good enough. Like, we had CG who was hella raw, and he knew how to control the whole game with all us around. That dude was special.
Pure point guard.
He was special.
I would say he was
All right,
like,
I'm looking
I
at
would
y'all
compare him to
list.
Allen Iverson. He was like, yeah, yeah.
There
Let's
we
go
He
over
go.
it.
was he
Let's hear it.
was he was Jamal Crawford before Jamal
There you
Crawford.
go. There you go. There you go.
That's because
Especially
he
with the crossover.
danced.
There you go.
Like AI was a scorer. AI had all that, but AI was like me. He looked to score. If he can hit you with one move and go score, he gonna do it. That CG was Jamal Crawford.
He want to
He
dance. Yeah, yeah,
he'll
yeah,
start bopping on you,
yeah.
do his real smooth with it. You know, like he'll
And then
dance
hit
on
you
your
with
ass.
this right
Hit you with the
here.
bottoms.
Hit
Like
you right
I
there
still wear my sweatpants with the pockets out for CG.
for
He don't
CG.
even know that. For CG
Man,
started that
I
shit. That was
love
that West
competing. I
Coast
love
shit.
competing against CG. Man, that was some good
All right, so
times.
y'all list: Will Levy, Daryl Tucker, Joe C, Paul, Leon, Larry, Aende, Wendell, Nick Insweiler, Marshawn, Frank Knight, Ray, Justin, me, Drew, Tim, Tonio, Eddie House, Gary, Raymond Circus King, Brandon Payton, Devon Horton, Dior, Austin Keith. All right, I grew up with Austin since I was probably like 8.
You played AAU with us.
Yeah, Austin got better after high school.
We agree with that.
I would say, and it's no knock to Austin because he was
No,
good. But when he went to Humboldt State, then there was averaging like 30 something.
yeah,
It
he set
clicked.
records and shit. Yeah,
He was one of the ones like after high school he got better because then when he went overseas, like no lie, when he got overseas he played in the top leagues
I
like
can't remember who
overseas.
was
Like
on. I
he
can't remember
blossomed
who said it.
after high school.
Yeah, I can't remember who said it. Somebody we had on. They said Austin as a professional was one of the best pros they played against.
Oh yeah, he was a pro.
Yeah.
Like high school I played with him shit 10 years. Like high school he was good, but Austin wasn't Austin wasn't flatlands. You feel me?
I feel what you're
He
saying.
didn't play
Yeah.
like he was sitting in
Right, right,
flats. You
right,
feel
right,
me?
right,
Like
right.
Austin kind of, he by the
Yeah,
lake a little bit.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm
I
saying? Like,
100% agree with
I
that.
get it. I get it.
and that's my guy. I still talk to Austin
I
fucking
talked to him a
to
couple
this
weeks
day. So
ago,
it ain't
man.
no
He's
knock because
doing
he was
great.
super raw.
Well, who would you
So
put on? Who would
I
you
would
put
say
on his
Austin.
place?
Let me see.
Matter of fact, let's get to the juicy stuff. Let's get to the juicy
I put
stuff.
Mar
Who
Hill
on
in
the
place.
list do you think absolutely just was overrated? Don't belong on the list. Not in your category. Let's get to the juicy stuff.
I mean, it's Big Bro, but Marshawn,
Ooh.
that's Big Bro though. And it ain't no knock because you got to think like it's NBA players that's not on this list.
Like who?
Like y'all list is from 95 to 05.
And it's just the East Bay, so
Oh, y'all
not
got 95 to 05.
yeah,
We was
not
doing
CQ
99 to
Carey and
09.
all them. Just
Yeah,
straight, not San
it
Francisco,
was a
just straight
few.
East Bay.
Yeah, it was a few. I'm gonna just say on this list, uh, Joe C was really good. Um, I question him on my list too, but he was really good. But Joe C had a lot of good players around him, and they had a great system, and it was De La Salle.
Right.
You could recruit, so it's kind of hard, like it's kind of hard with them kind of schools where you can recruit and you got a good system. Like they was always good. It was De La Salle. They was always good in football and basketball because it was De La Salle. Now, if you drop Joe C off at Tech, will we be talking about Joe C like that? But it ain't no knock because he was raw. So I would say Joe C. Um, I always heard Frank Knight was raw. I know Frank was at Fremont when I was there. I don't really remember him like that though, so I can't really speak for Frank. But I always heard he was raw,
He was
so
all
I can't really
state.
speak for Frank. Yeah,
Yeah, he
he
went to the
see that's
state
what I'm saying. I
championship.
have no
Yeah,
accolades on. I have no
yeah.
accolades on Raw. So I know he hit that big shot to get them. I think to get them to the state or whatever. So I'm not going. It ain't no knock or talk about Frank. I'm just saying I don't. I didn't really see him like that. Uh, Raymond King, he was good, but he wasn't even the best player on his team,
Mm.
was he?
Mm.
I mean, obviously, I
Yeah,
would
all
take
right.
Drew if he played with Drew. I'm definitely taking Drew.
What about Imani and what about Imani? Imani went to Ohio State. What about
Was
what I'm
he Mighty
saying?
95 though, or was he
What about Jovan? Yeah, Imani was 99.
Imani?
Imani Georgeson or the shooter
I know
for
you're talking
EC?
Jurgis. Yeah, Jurgensen. Yeah, or
Yeah,
something
he
like
went
that.
to
I remember.
Ohio
I didn't know he
State.
went to Ohio State. I know you're talking about
Yeah,
though the shooter. Yeah,
Imani was
I know
raw.
you're talking about.
Like you
I
had
didn't think he was
Imani, you had
that good.
Jovan.
Hold
No, I
on.
remember
Yeah,
You
Jovan
had,
and I remember Jovan and Drew.
bro.
They
He went
went
to Ohio State.
because we played against them in '99.
He was
hey, that's a
good. He
good
was
ass
a
team.
he.
Oh yeah, they went to the state championship.
Hell,
I know,
hell
but
yeah,
you
they
got
lost to
Drew at
Deshaun Stevenson.
Kansas, Ohio State,
You
Jamal
had
Hill at
Kansas,
Arizona
Ohio
State,
State.
Arizona
Um,
State,
uh,
and St. Mary's.
didn't Jovan go to St. Mary's first
Yeah.
St.
before
Mary's, Jamal
USF?
with the St.
He
Mary's.
went to St. Mary's. You had Drew went to Kansas. Like them niggas was deep. I was the missing piece, me and more. Like I was the
Yeah.
three. You know what I'm saying? If I
You
would have
already
got
know how
there,
I feel
it
about
would have been
Maul. Y'all
bad.
keep saying that
Yeah,
name.
man,
Hey,
I gotta
listen to me,
say
bro.
more,
Hey,
cause
hey, listen to me,
because
man.
you,
I'm a,
it's a lot of games you didn't see. It's a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
games you didn't
yeah,
see.
yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah. I say
it
who was in the
like
league,
if
man.
you'd have
That's what I
saw
say. Who was in the
if
league?
you'd have saw Maul when because with people most people don't know me, Paul, Maul Hill, Eben Glenn, and Kellen Dixon, rest in peace.
Hmm.
Um us five went to Vegas and won the whole fucking big tournament in Vegas. Just us five.
Okay. Now this is what I'm saying.
Like five players.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying.
Literally.
I'm not saying Jamal was weak by all means. I'm saying
Hmm.
he's not on that level of y'all. Is what I'm saying. I wouldn't put him in y'all category.
no, but
In
I
high
disagree,
school.
Okay,
Ken.
I
He
mean
he
that
reminds me of
I
Austin.
respect that.
When he got to San Jose City,
Nah, he's
dog,
better
like
than
he
Austin.
took another step.
He's better than Austin.
Arizona State took another. I'm talking about El Cerrito. I
El
think it's
Cerrito is 27 a game.
against who?
I get it though,
Oh,
but you
Ken,
got
you
that's what I said.
no, Ken, no,
That's what I said.
I'm not going for that,
I know
Ken.
what Ken talking about. I know what Ken talking
No,
about.
I'm
That's
not
what I'm
going for
saying.
that.
But you gotta think like, all right, when we won that tournament, right? I mean, we playing teams out of Florida, we playing teams out of LA, we playing teams out of everywhere, all the big teams. Nigga, Maul was all tournament. Maul did better than me in that tournament.
Well, then maybe
I
I
was
should be
just
on the
I
top
was the
25 list then.
I was just the glue, huh?
Maybe I should be on the top 25 list then.
No.
'Cause I'm like, man,
Yeah.
No,
shit,
I
man.
know how you feel about ball. You say you had the game, you locked him.
Locked
You
him
probably had
up,
a good
dog.
game on him.
Locked him one on
But
one, no help.
the
Talked to him
thing
the whole
is,
night,
you
and
wasn't
that's
no
my guy.
slouch.
Like you and Ma used to come up to Oakland High all the time. Like that's my guy. It ain't nothing
Yeah,
personal. But I'm just saying when we stepped between the lines, Coach said, Edwards, you got Hill. Bet. I true story. Before the tip, walked up to Jamal and said, I'm going to make Eastern Washington regret ever offering you. And I did.
That's the
and
game, though,
that's
Ken.
a hats off to
That,
you. But
that
that's what I'm saying. First off, you wasn't no slouch, so let's stop that. Just because it's a lot of people that was good that didn't make this list.
That's what I'm
So
saying. He's
let's
not on
start
that
here.
level.
It was a
That's what
lot of
I'm saying.
fucking talent coming out of our area. You
All
know what
right,
I'm saying? It was a lot of talent.
I could name probably off the top of my head. I could probably name 5 dudes that I would put on the list before Jamal.
Who?
Yeah, you can't name five, Ken.
Armando
Yeah, name
Surratt.
five.
Armando Surratt.
Before Mario?
Yes.
That's debatable.
I
That's
can
debatable.
that's debatable. That's
Now
debatable.
I'm totally biased because again I played with this guy, Tonio Williams
Uh,
Parker.
I'm not putting
no,
Tony off credit. I'm not putting Tony
no.
I
above
seen
Jamal Hill.
Tone carry us to a championship by himself against
But
real dogs.
no. But look,
Hey,
Ken. You also
hey,
seen
all right,
Jamal.
listen. Mar Hill had 25 in that state game off the bench.
No, I feel that. I feel that. And that's what I'm
I
saying. Like,
mean,
I'm
I
not saying
mean,
Jamal is weak. I'm
Bushrod
saying he's
tournament.
not
All
on
right,
y'all level.
I understand that. And the reason why I say that is because we took high school. I can't say that. After we took basketball more serious, a little bit more serious than Mar. Not saying he didn't, but I
Right.
watch. We go to Bushrod. Half this list played in that Bushrod tournament that Mar had like 27 on them niggas in the championship or something like that. I still got the newspaper.
I put it like this.
So
I put it like this, and I don't want to make this a
no, I
Jamal
need to know
Hill
the last
bashing.
three though. Which your last
But I
three?
would say this.
Because
I would say
you
this.
gave me two that I
When
can't
I
say.
think about all right, if I got a game tomorrow and I'm like, man, I got Marquin. I'm like, damn. All right, I'm gonna lose a little sleep. Paul Marigny. I'm like, God damn, we gotta play Paul. Tuck. You know what I'm saying? It's names where it's like, fuck, who on my team? Like who? Jamal. I'm like, let's go play.
Yeah, but that's how I feel about.
Listen,
That's how I feel about
Ken,
Rondo, though.
Ken, that's your claim to fame. Hey, low, that's his claim to fame, low. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
It's a lot
yeah.
of hey, it's a
That's his
lot of
claim. That's
guys.
his
It's a lot
claim.
of guys out in there. It's a lot of
You
guys.
feel me?
It's a lot of guys.
But no lie, no lie. You saying it's a lot of guys. Who's your last three? I want to hear your last three.
You catching me off guard.
You gave me Antonio. You gave me Mondo.
Armando. I put
Mm,
Jovan ahead of Jamal Hill.
no,
Oh, absolutely. I put Deshaun Freeman
not
ahead of Jamal
in high school. They was on the same team.
Hill. And
You gotta understand they was on the
Jovan
same
was
team.
better than me. I would put Deshaun Freeman above him.
D Free was a two way. Mar was see another thing you forget about Mar too. Mar was a good ass defender. Mar was a two way. He was a two way. He was long. He was quick. He was a good two way. I D Free was saucy, and I hated when that little fucker guarded me. I hated when he guarded me. I got big respect for D Free, like super respect. Um, that was a tough one. That's a tough one. I would I would have to say more just because I had real doses of him. Like I watched him compete against players that's better than half the players on these lists, and I watch him serve. But I also know like some games when he not really on, I can see what you say. You know,
I thought in high school.
one thing with me, it was hard for y'all to stop me because like say that All-Star game, right? Say if I was off, I could have posted half you niggas up and wouldn't have made a difference.
I was just about to get into that because I thought with Jamal, he
Edge
didn't have a
because
consistent jumper in
I
high
could go
school.
inside and out.
Right.
Yeah, he had to he was consistently athletic. It wasn't all the way consistent, but it was like but when it was like when he if Maul was shooting 45% from the field, you was gonna have a long night. It was something like that. You know what I'm saying? So
I'll go out on a limb,
all
bro.
right, so
I'm
you
gonna go
gave
out
me
on a
D
real
free.
limb here. And I know already saying it, y'all not gonna agree with me. And I
Yeah.
think this dude doesn't get enough credit. And pretty much because of the team he was on, we kind of. I lightweight would put Jamal and Jermaine Washington on the same level.
No,
No,
Ken.
I would.
No,
no.
Ken.
It made
I had
my
a
guy. You know
I
that.
would. In
No,
high
uh,
school, I would put him on the same level.
yeah, you went out on a limb. You fell off
hey,
I would.
hey,
I would.
Ken.
Nah,
I only
no,
saw Maine.
no.
Only saw Maine dunk. Ken. He played defense and dunk.
No, Jermaine
I ain't
Washington
see.
for Oakland High.
Oh, Jermaine. Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
man,
yeah,
from the other day,
yeah, yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nah,
No, I
Maine
gotta
was
go.
raw. Maine was smooth, but Maine wasn't more. He wasn't more.
You been the case for
You know,
Maine to be on the list. You
Nah,
been the case
bruh,
for
Maul
Maine to be on
nah,
the
got
list.
nah. I
dropping
just
in the
don't think Jamal's on the
trenches,
list either.
bro. Maul
Huh?
was in the trenches giving out work. Like I'm talking about, like bush ride to Vegas to the state game to 27 game to you name it. I
He didn't
saw
have
it. We
27 on
played it.
us.
I mean, wherever I played, he played. You know, open gym, AU, all that shit. Like I witnessed it
I think it's a
firsthand.
tier system. I think there's like the top 25,
Definitely,
top tier, middle tier, lower tier.
definitely. That's why I say like,
Solid player. I would love to play. Like if Maul was on my team, like I'm like, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like we got a solid team. But if Maul on my team and we going to play Paul and Marquin, I'm like, oh boy,
but who would you go get?
against you and Paul.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
it's not that
plenty of people. I
easy.
mean, if I got Ray Young, in high
Who?
school. If I got Ray Young in high school, let's go. If I
Yeah,
got
yeah, that's solid. Yeah,
yeah, if I got Tuck, let's
and
go. If
whoever.
I got Eddie House, let's go. I mean, hell, even GHT. GHT couldn't really shoot it like that, but he could match the
Nah, he was
athleticism.
a motor. His motor was stupid.
Yeah,
His
yeah,
motor was crazy.
right. I could
But
go.
look,
Tim
you,
Pierce,
you nah, nah, Tip Pierce in high school was
Kellogg,
nice, but
Kellogg,
Kellogg was nice.
Kellogg.
Kellogg was nice.
Now,
But
me and
you
Allende don't
which
make a good team because me and Allende are neither one of us gonna score it like that. So
Allende
that
was scoring.
no, Allende is Allende. And okay, let's talk about Allende. Let's shift gears. Let's talk about Allende. I think Allende is an NBA player. I think what happened was is he was a facilitator, but Ben Bron didn't let him go. Ben Brown was like,
Yeah,
"Hey, bring it
Allende
up,
was a
pass to the
scorer,
wing,
bro.
screen away."
Allende was a scorer. Allende, you said Mondo. Allende gave Mondo 47 and 16 or something like that. Like Allende was a
47
scorer, bro.
points. He
Yes,
was
sir.
47.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Interesting.
On Mondo. Yes, sir.
Oh, on that tech
So
team.
But Allende's on the
yeah, that's
list
why I
though, and
say,
Armando's not.
yeah,
So
huh?
Allende's on the list, and Armando's not. So we do think Allende is better.
I know. Marshawn Ferris on the list and Mondo not.
See. Okay, this is
Raymond
Circus
Circus
King.
King is
So
on the
this is
list.
what happens sometimes.
Mondo not.
This is what happens sometimes. I think in the case I stand by my list, or our list,
Uh,
but this is what
uh,
happens. Circus King and Marshawn are older than us, so some of the stuff we saw them do was probably magnified because we are looking at it at a younger age. I played against Mondo, and kind of similar to Jamal. So
yeah.
Mondo. Now, granted, Mondo was like a sophomore or something. Like he was young when we got him.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but he didn't. He didn't get off on us. We beat Tech
He was
twice.
nice.
Yeah, we beat Tech
He was
twice.
nice. He played on my team at Super
Yeah,
64.
so he was
Mondo,
solid.
that's when I
But
first met Mondo.
he was
Mondo
solid.
was solid. He was nice.
He was solid again.
But I'm
Not
saying
yeah, he was
like
solid.
to your point, how you said they was older and all that, like Raymond was Circus was he was good.
Yeah, he got the name Circus for a
But
reason
he
though.
was a but he was a good passer.
And ball handler and point guard. He went to Cal too.
I know, but could he shoot? Was he really breaking down and finishing people? He was a circus. He was more and one than basketball. Because when it came to the real game, like when you had to go against like when the competition level got even, he was you ain't dropping off and all that shit like you used to doing against these half players. Like when it got to the point like where we all met up where it was like no drop off. he wasn't
So you think
shining no
Mondo
more.
should be
Wasn't no
on the
more
list?
circus.
You think Mondo should? You think Mondo was top 25?
No, I think he honorable.
Where does Q? Where does Quentin Thomas? Where does he stand with you? Because me and Lowe kind of stand away from the crowd on this one. Where me and Lowe was like, he was great, but then damn, look at the team he was on. Where a lot of other people
That's the
are like, man,
that's the
Q not on the
reason.
list. Q not on. No, Q was a damn good player. You go to North
Q
Carolina,
could
you
have
can
did
play,
way
but
more. I think the biggest downfall for Q, he just always had too many good players around him.
around him, yeah, that might have been the downfall.
I told
He
you
he
that
never
that
was
that
a
that,
so he
that
never had the chance to be a solo act. You know what I'm saying? Like to be the honcho.
hmm
He never had the chance to be honcho. He always had like that nigga had a team around him at Tech. That nigga had a squad.
Yeah, well, that's what we were saying. Is that
I
so?
think
We were
at
thinking.
one point didn't they have uh didn't they have Keith over there at one point too?
Yeah, but
yeah,
he was
but he
never
only
eligible.
played half the season. He'll play half the season.
Bruh, you had Keith, you had Leon, you had Deuce,
Demarche,
you had
Demarche.
DeMarche,
And Theo.
who what Mondo. Like god damn, bruh, like nigga, that's damn near like Dominguez.
Right, right,
It
right,
would have been that
right.
Keith.
Nigga,
Okay,
you got
It would have been.
okay.
bro, you got Carolina, Cal, Miami, Reno,
E- Eastern Washington. Deuce went to Eastern Washington.
Eastern Washington.
And Theo went D1
Keith was
too.
supposed to be at LSU.
Yeah.
Like, and that nigga went to Carolina with all them on his team. Imagine if he would have had like, if they would have been like, hey, you can't pass this game. Just go get some buckets.
I never
His
saw him do that
storyline would
though.
have been different,
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying
huh?
he couldn't get buckets. I just never saw him do it, but that could be because he
I
didn't
mean,
need
what you
to, and
do
that
when you
wasn't
got
his role. Right. I get
what
that.
you do when you
So,
got Leon and DeMarche down low,
right, right, right. With Deuce on the wing and
with Deuce
Mondo, and
on
Mondo
the
gonna go get it.
wing,
He ain't passing.
with Keith a little bit there and Mondo.
Right. Yeah. So okay. So we had Paul on. You heard Paul's interview. On the
Mm-hmm,
way out, and he
mm-hmm,
caught me off guard too because I said I agree with
mm-hmm.
that, and then I thought about it, I was like, oh man, he caught me off guard. Paul said he's the best player from the East Bay to not make the NBA.
He supposed to say that.
Mm.
That's Paul. He
But
supposed to say that shit. But
that's a
you
good
know why I'm
list though, man.
smiling.
Huh?
And you know why I'm smiling. Paul definitely up there, but I can't really say I put Paul over myself. I mean, look at All Star, like you, like Pro Am. Like I led Pro Am in scoring. Like like I said, for 4 or 5 years, Paul was either second or third. I was better than Paul because I was bigger. I got 2, 3 more inches, and I could go play the post. So Paul could dance and all that and everything and shoot and do the whole shit. But if Paul have an off game, it's tough. If I can't shoot, you still got to stop the post. I always could get a bucket no matter what. And I wasn't, you know me, I wasn't hella fast or overly athletic or anything like that. I had my athleticism, but my biggest thing was IQ. Because all I do is, if I really needed to, I could bring the ball up. So if I'm having an off game, I grab the rebound, I wave the guard off, I bring the ball up. All I gotta do is call for a screen. You set a screen for me. I get a mismatch. I back them down. I'm gonna get a bucket. I knew how to score. I also knew how to win. You know what I'm saying? So I think my versatility is what set me apart because I'm not gonna say I could guard them the best, but I could guard D. You know what I'm saying?
Now is
Like
he in that
I could go in
category
there.
of
I could.
top guys? Is D Tuck in that category of top
Yeah,
guys that didn't make it?
yeah. D Tuck was the stretch fucking four that had everything. Like that was, bro. That was my high school idol.
Mm, that's
You know what I'm
big,
saying?
man.
Like,
That's
no
big.
cap. That was my high school idol. So it's, but what I'm saying, I'm speaking towards the versatility. But then at the same time, right? Tuck got to guard me. So I got a better chance of guarding Tuck than I think Tuck got to guarding me.
Oh,
Because if it really came
outside.
down to, I could go in the rumble down low and post Tuck up. You know what I'm saying? But then also Tuck got to come to the wing, and you know I got everything. You got to come to the volleyball line.
Yeah. Facts. I think that's a great matchup, though. I see
You
what you're
got
saying about Paul. I
niggas.
do think Paul can go by
You
you
had
at
to.
any point out on the perimeter. But I think you and Tuck would be a hell of a matchup to watch one on one.
It would have. We played a couple of times. Tuck was tough. Tuck was tough as hell. And I also had to get over that whole little like this my kind of like my idol. You know,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It was just kind of like that kind of
You
respect
had a
when y'all
glow when you
became a
saw
rival. You feel me? So I
him.
had to kind of like I had to like get on Tuck like all right, let me stop looking at you like this and I look at you as meat and you dinner right now. So
Right.
I gotta look at you a different kind of way. But like I'm saying, like if you go down, all right, let me see. Look at the list, right? I'm looking at the list. Will Levy. I guard Will Levy a lot of times. If you could deal with the muscle and the elbows and all the dirty shit he do, you okay. But you go down to the other end. I'm gonna destroy Will. Period. You ain't coming on when you guard me. I'll foul you out the before you do anything. You know what I'm saying? So all right, we go. So Will, then you go to Tuck, Joe C. It's a post. That's dinner. You go to Paul. Yeah. If I'm having trouble with Paul, I can always back him down. LG was like me. You know what I'm saying? LG was saucy. He had everything. But at the same time, if it came down to it, he wasn't strong enough. You know what I'm saying? Like I played that like, tough. Like Wendell was a motor. Wendell was strong and all that, but I played Wendell overseas a few times. And most of the time I got the best of him. Like, because just because with Wendell game he wasn't the best shooter, but if you get him close to the rim, he gonna dunk your ass. You just gotta keep him away from the rim.
Absolutely, man. Hey, well, as we get ready to wrap up, man, you mentioned a lot about
Mm.
wanting to let the kids know about college is the cool pick and all of these things you got going, man. Send us out with something, man, to give, because we get a lot of kids talking. I'm a football coach myself, but I let my son listen to
Mm.
y'all interviews because me being a football guy, my son is a basketball kid, right?
Right,
And I let
right.
him hear the stuff that y'all say. I didn't say it to him 1,000 times, but it only resonate, like you said, I'm the dad talking to him. So it resonates when someone else says the same thing. So give a message out to the kids that I can let the kids listen to, man, before you sign off.
For the kids out here, I think my story is good for kids to hear because it's a lot of high school players that was on the list that we named that was good. Some was you could say better than me. I'm not gonna say it, but you could say some was better than me and everything like that. You always just got to be prepared. Just be prepared. Like you're not always gonna get the shot that you hope for, that you wishing for, but if you prepared when it happened, then it's like, all right, you ready because a lot of the stuff with life and basketball and everything like that, you just don't know what's gonna happen. Like you could be at the top of your game and have an injury, and it's gonna set you back. You could be, you know, you could be sitting on the end of the bench, and the player that's in front of you that's killing get hurt, and then they got to throw you in, and you got to be ready. So it's like if you want to do this, you gotta really do it. You gotta put your time into it. Like I know it's hard for kids these days. It's different than how we came up because you got so many distractions. Like you got the video games, and you got your phone where you can literally do everything on it, and social media and all that. So it's a lot of distraction that go on every day that we didn't have when we was younger because we didn't have that. Like our thing was like you had to be outside. Like right now, kids don't even have to go outside to have fun. Basketball is like anything else in life. You want to learn something, you got to study it. Like go back and look at the greats, not the ones that dribbled 100 times and all that. Go look at the people that knew how to score with 2 and 3 dribbles, like Jordan. Like I watched a lot of Jordan, and if you go watch Jordan highlights, just pulling up the highlights, most people probably don't even look at it the way I look at basketball. Go watch a Jordan highlight and count his dribbles. Like if you see 20 moves, you probably see one move where it's over 3 dribbles. And that was the best scorer in history.
Hey man, we want to thank you for coming on, man. Very enlightening story, man. Because like I said, I didn't know none of this. I didn't know none of this, and we got to
For
talk
sure.
again about that whole thing that happened. Because I had my incident at the Arizona State. We got to have a podcast show, Ken, where we talk about the things that happened in college,
Politics in
the phone
college.
code,
Oh
the
yeah.
phone codes, and all
Yeah.
of those
I
things. We
tell you
got
the
to have a
phone code.
conversation.
I tell you the whole story where I had to beat that case and I beat it by myself. I represented myself because I
We,
people don't know I was a criminal justice major. Like one of my OGs was like, "You always get into some shit. You better learn how to get out of it." And I went to
man,
school and I
be,
was a criminal justice major, and me and my girlfriend at the time beat that case. I won that case. I represented myself. But that's a
man,
whole
be
other
ready for
story.
the
But you know what I'm
Be ready
saying?
for the college episode. We gonna call that one the college episode, man. Hey,
It's
thanks for
good.
coming
It's
on,
good. I'm
Marquin, man.
ready.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it, man.
I appreciate y'all, man. Thanks.
All love.
All right.
All all right, peace.
Hey, man, Marquin got some stories, Ken. Man, he got some stories, man. Can't wait to. We got to have another part. We got to break Marquin in sections, like episode part 1. We release one on a Tuesday, then another one on a Thursday, part 1, part 2, man.
Man,
Very enlightening story, man. And like you say, the dude can fill it up, man. Can fill it up. So thanks for Marquin coming on, man. Shout out to that, man.
I loved it. I loved it. Well, thank you guys for another episode of the Rec Center Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Rec Center Podcast. Man, we appreciate all your support, all the DMs, the inboxes, the comments, the likes. Man, we appreciate you guys staying engaged. And man, if you got any suggestions, man, never feel free to. I mean, never feel bad for letting me and Lo know anything that we can make the show better, or anybody in particular, a guest that you want to see or a topic you want us to cover. Definitely let us know. For the Rec Center Podcast, I'm Kenny Edwards with my co-host Lorenzo Parham. We out of here.